G'day everyone. For today's vlog, we are going to be looking at one of the new star systems that's going to be included in Fragged Empire 2nd Edition. So, and I'll give you a bit of a general update also for what else I'm working on at the moment. But before we jump into the Kasuf system, I'm starting to explore some ship designs. I felt like that's something that could really do with some work from first edition. Is I really want some iconic ship designs for each of the species that are quite recognizable. Yeah, so we'll see how we go. We're only starting here. So we got like Corp Luxury ship here, which I really like, and then a Corp Freighter, and then starting on the Kaltoran one. Not quite sure on that one yet, but yeah. Anyway, early days. So yeah, that'll be cool. Okay. What else have I been doing? A lot of rules polishing at the moment. I think I'm continuously surprised at just how the polishing process is just endless with something so complicated as an RPG like Fragged. So anyway, that's been really good. I got to be a player last week in a one shot last week for the friend, so that was really cool. We entered an SOS beacon from a Kaltoran mining station in the Liberty Belt, and we turned up and we found we rescued some people, and we found that. So we rescued some people who got into an escape pod, and others who had hidden themselves in a safe room, which was designed in case the mine collapsed. You could sort of go into these little safe rooms, and we encountered a proto Zao. So it wasn't a normal sort of Zao; it was something else, and the mine had like accidentally broken into some facility, but this Zao thing whacked our butts really bad. It was super sneaky. It would just appear and then hit really hard and disappear. And so we're slowly creeping through the facility on Overwatch perpetually. And we decided to prioritize rescuing the civilians rather than fully exploring, which my Corp character was a little bit disappointed by. But yeah, it was a fun session. I enjoyed it. And this week, I'm going to be starting a new campaign with my regular group. So that'll be good. We're doing that at Roll20. But I do want to try out Foundry. Foundry's been getting a bit of chatter in my circles at the moment. So yeah. Anyway, okay. That's enough of that. Boring stuff. Let's jump into some lore. Okay. So here is the region map, and you've got Haven here, and then you've got the Kasuf system, which is over here. And it's connected by a jump gate. So this is something new that's in the lore, okay? Is that there's a jump gate between the Kasuf system and Haven. And this is a Nephilim jump gate. So we'll jump into that. We'll have a look at that one later on. But there's a couple of key things about this system, so I'll give you a quick overview on a few things. So firstly, and most prominently, this is a system without ley dust. And so ley dust is kind of like the magic resource substance of Fragged, to allow a bunch of scientifically impossible things to happen, like jump travel and things like that. And so Kasuf has a slightly harder sci-fi feel in it. It's not like totally the Expanse, but you're not doing jump portals, and there's no psionics, although psionic characters can still use their powers to detect trace amounts of ley dust. And anyway, to get into the system, you got to use the jump gate, but then to get out of the system, you need to have a canister of ley dust and either exit by the jump gate, or you can you can jump out of the system, but you've got to collect this ley dust. And the ley dust can be held in these canisters for a short amount of time, but there's a few tiny areas where you can track it down. So anyway, if you go in through the gate and you've got enough money and resources, you can do your thing and then leave by the gate. Okay? And give the corporation lots of money. Or if you get stuck there, it'll take a bit of work to get out of. And this isolates the system a bit more, in that there's a bunch of competing factions for it. Anyway, we'll dive into the deeper stuff of that later. The other thing about this system is it is placed within what used to be the Mondian nation. So just a quick recap, this central area here was the Kaltoran nation. You've got the Ursine nation here, the Twilinga nation here, and all of these ones are undefined because they're, the GMs are supposed to come up with what species did the Archons put there. Okay, and the Mondians are a new species, but they're specifically not spelled out about their nature, who they are, and this was specifically designed because I want GMs to come up with them. Okay, I don't know whether any survived. I don't know what their special traits are. Yeah. Okay, so let's do a bit of a lore. I'm going to read out the introductory lore section and then walk you through the planets. Okay, so let's just pull the Kasuf system up here. So I'm going to pull this up while I read that for you. Okay, cool. I've flown fighters, freighters, tankers, and once even got my hands on a cruiser. Can't say more, it's classified. I've flown in Atmo in a Class 3 Nebula and even through a ley line. I've flown in every damn system and the Legion has soldiers. And none of them, none, scared me like piloting in Kasuf. Space is heavy there. The void thicker somehow, cloying, pulling ships in and refusing to let them go. The idea of being trapped there, unable to leave, it keeps me up at nights. Legion pilot's personal file, reviewed after disappearance during Kasuf rotation. There are forlorn places in the galaxy where the laws of physics refuse to be twisted by ley dust, kicking explorers back to a forgotten age when the title rocket scientist was as mark of great intellectual respect. The Kasuf system is one such place, suffering a catastrophic event during the Great War of unknown but much speculated origin. The system is now devoid of background ley dust that is essential for faster-than-light travel. Once a home to the enigmatic Mondian nation, it is now a dark and dangerous system where pirates, miners, mercs, and mechanids battle for control of its many worlds. The only way into the system is via the Kasuf Haven jump gate, and those wishing to leave must bring ley dust canisters with them or risk being trapped. These imperfect canisters can only contain their powerful contents for a week. Any longer, and the dust lacks the potency to allow a jump out of the system. Alternatively, trace amounts may be gathered from rare and dangerous sources, or purchased at extortionist rates from opportunistic smugglers. And yet, despite the risks and the cost of travel into Kasuf, the system's wealth of resources and glut of ancient mysteries continues to attract travelers, researchers, miners, and mercenaries. All of this makes the Kasuf Haven jump gate the most valuable, if unconventional, asset in the system. The gate is a giant Nephilim creature, paired to a similar creature in the Haven system. But while the beast within Haven is tamed and under the control of the inbrood Nephilim, its Kasuf twin is feral and kept in a vegetative state by large neurological pins in its brain. The pair were brought back online through a partnership between the Corp and the Eden Nephilim, but the connection remains unreliable, and control of the Kasuf side frequently changes hands between the Corp and their Legion defense contractors. The vicious, bloodied coin space pirates who wish to rule Kasuf, feral Nephilim drawn to the cries and whimpers of the gate, and powerful mechanids who are occasionally drawn away from their fixation on the human fortress of Yatha. While the body count conglomerate, Dre Mining Consortium, and Bradford Investment regularly control the Kasuf Haven jump gate and the surrounding area, most of the system is under the control of the Bloodied Coin pirates. Captain Julius Bloodhand Origin is a unifying figure, bringing together a host of pirate and outlaw factions on his space station around the outer world of Hubble. The Bloodied Coin guard Kasuf's second most valuable location, the far outer regions where trace amounts of ley dust can be slowly harvested. For the stranded traveller, the choice is stark. Pay an arm and a leg to the Corp for the dust required to use the jump gate, or pay with bullets and blood to steal what you need from the Bloodied Coin. As anywhere else in the galaxy, life finds a way to endure on the diverse worlds of the system. Quayans, loggers brave the swampy jungles, selling rare otherworldly wood to the highest bidder, and keep an ever watchful eye on the trees for the shadows of predatory plants. Miners on Dashara endure endless darkness to dredge the mud flows for rare elements. Legion soldiers on heavy warships Orban Azizos as they attempt to defend the jump gate from Bloodied Coin pirates, feral Nephilim ships of war, and the near unstoppable mechanids who seek to sever the system from the outside universe. Corp survey teams skim the upper atmosphere of the gas giant Talab, dodging Mechanid scouts as they attempt to catch a glimpse of the titanic terraforming robots that slumber within before they return to the colony on the terraformed moon of Oratul. Long-range research vessels scour the space around Yatha, tentatively probing the ancient human fortress world's automated defenses, alert for even the slightest possibility that they might be able to plunder the relic's historical and technological riches. The graveyard planet Abgal speaks to the destructive power of the planet fortress, its atmosphere and thriving ecosystem destroyed during the war. If the secret to the system's poverty of ley dust could be discovered anywhere, it would be there among the calcified tree trunks and emptied riverbeds. The riches of the Kasuf system are many, and the dangers even greater, but the isolated system rewards crews that have their wits sharp and an eye on their resources. A smile to the friends and weapons to use against their foes. Oh, okay, so that giant big info dump. Just a sort of intro text to sort of set the mood of lots of different competing factions, and that control of the gate regularly changes hands. Okay, so you got pirates out here in Hubble, you got mechanids here in Talab trying to get at Yatha, which is a giant big human Death Star sort of fortress world. You've got the Corp and the Legion kind of here around Azizos, but then they've got a colony on the terraformed moon around Oratul. But then you've got miners and stuff like that around the place who live there and kind of try to exist between the gaps of these big power players. So let's have a quick look at some of the lore and the pictures and stuff like that. Okay, so you got Abgal, big destroyed planet there, and here the big Haven Kasuf gate. So this is a giant Nephilim, which is a gate which can open a portal, and it's feral because it hasn't been brought back into the Eden Brood, and so it's got these giant pins in its brain to keep it in a vegetative sort of submissive state. Cool. I really like this picture, and also like it's just adding an extra weirder element. to the Fragged universe. And that's something I was just talking about online today, about how I'm wanting some of these stranger things to be in the setting as a way of encouraging players and GMs to come up with their own wild ideas about what could be out there. Cool. So anyway, this is Azizos. There's a little chart here for if you want to randomize who's controlling the gate. And then we're going to, got some art for the swampy world of Quainan, which is got lots of monstrous plants on there. Yeah, cool. Anyway, so that's kind of just summarizing up the system. It's a bit of a different system. If we have another time, I want to have a look at some of the other systems. So the law book is going to be covering Haven, of course, Kasuf, and then the VAR system. And you've got the maps there. So this is Haven, Kasuf, and then VAR. So this is where the Corp come from. It's a dual binary star system. A bit more like a frontier sort of system there. Yeah, okay, anyway, so just a short and sweet vlog today. I hope you guys are having a great day. Take care.